analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Let's go. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful, guys. You've had a great weekend. It is time to analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin because, yes, we do have the risk right now to come down to the lows of Friday at 107.2K. If that is broken, we could even come down to 105K. However, there is that bullish case where we do have a higher low on the formation here and we shoot up to get to 110K plus, even to all-time high. Is that possible? Well, eventually it is possible, but there are some scenarios that I want to discuss here on the charts for Bitcoin, right? The most bullish case scenario, the bulls out there will be saying that we have hit right now the resistance zone where we have been breaking it, okay? The lower high resistance trend line, right? We've broken out, all good, all nice, and we're just going to continue to the upside. We are above the value area high of this entire range right now, as you can see. With that drop of Friday, we did maintain it as support, got a little bounce here. But do we have enough steam? Is there enough steam right now to continue to the upside. Let me know your thoughts down below in the description, guys. There is a few local bearish case scenarios that I do prefer, guys. I do see a local top here, and that the sideways momentum, a little bit of a drop, it looks more probable, okay? That is my opinion. That's my technical analysis. That's my opinion, basically. You can take that with a pinch of salt, but it does look more interesting for the price to get that correction. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, guys. Destroy that like button, because we're going to go through the technical analysis here, okay? We're going to go through the levels, through the scenarios. We'll be focusing on the new information that the market has provided us, okay, with that Friday drop and this little range bounce that we got through the weekend, which is information. All of this is information on the chart that we have that is new, it's fresh. It gives us more the different probabilities and the different setups that could be provided here, could be forming here on the price of Bitcoin. So make sure to stay tuned. New information is always good to realize what is the highest probability here, right? And I am leaning a little bit more locally bearish, okay? Purely based on the new information that we do have from the weekend. That will be explained on the stream. Levels of interest for either a long or a short position will be provided on this stream. I am more into swing trading style right now. I am in Spain. I've just eaten a paella, guys. Here you have some mejillones and also some patas de cangrejo. Paella time, guys, okay? You do eat paella here in Spain at least twice a week, okay? So let's go right away through the comment section. Make sure to destroy that like button. And we're going to be analyzing the situation here all together, okay? Make sure to smash it up, okay? Smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. I'm going to say hello to the beautiful community and say here hello to everyone, okay? Jerome, the master himself, here he is. El Profesor. Vamos, let's go. Get your votes in here, guys. New all-time high for Bitcoin this summer. We've got almost 80% of people saying yes. I also believe so, that all-time high is likely in the summer, as this looks incredibly corrective. All of the bearish case scenarios, even though if we do get a drop, they do point out that coming back up to all-time high is the highest probability, guys. It is the highest probability. And there is only one simple reason why. It's because the movement down that we've had from all-time high looks incredibly corrective. There's no leading moves to the downside, no major impulsive moves that we do have in this structure since all-time high. They all look very corrective, very three-wavy. And a three-wave move to the downside in a complex WXY, which is literally what we're forming here, right? Just a range or a bullish flag, if you wish, for all of those, you know, those people that are looking more basic stuff, okay? It is a complex corrective move, and all-time high is extremely likely. So we can see that all-time high votes here, 80% say yes. Jerome, my man, El Profesor, Phantom, sideways, chop, chop, yes. Summer, not too much volume, a little bit of pumpy action, a little bit of dumpy action. Usually summers can get very boring, very rangy, but there's still trading opportunities. And we want to discuss some trading opportunities in this live stream, guys. The levels I'm watching, the reactions that I'm watching, to give you that possible opportunity. Of course, these are only my opinion, no financial advice, and you take the decision accordingly, okay? So let's go right away and say hello to the community. You are not guys like he is. Some TA, he has 100 trade options. Try them out using my trade link so I can make money on failed trades. Thanks, Andy and 𝗬𝗍𝗿. You are fair and honest, and I think everyone here learning a lot from you guys. Jerome, thank you very much, my man, for the love and much respect to Andy and 𝗬𝗍𝗿. Suzanne, hello, how are you doing? Much love to Suzanne. Andy, my guy, thank you for being on the treadmill as we discuss our finances, good Lord. Yes, I did jump into Jason Casper's live stream. He's an absolute legend. I love Jason Casper very, very much. We are good friends. We do speak once in a while. And yeah, he's absolutely awesome. I need to go and visit him in the US. Lol, I know you've been watching. I know you have been watching. Yeah, I jumped into Jason Casper's live stream. Andy live from the treadmill would be quite something. Yeah, I need to get a treadmill definitely in Dubai at home and start doing some walking streams, right? Like 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗁𝗽, absolute legend. Jackie Wood got my mother here giving support as always. BTC to 106k, then to 112k, says Y Lin. Very interesting scenario, without a doubt. 106k is definitely an option. Now, that is eventually a liquidity grab that we are going to be discussing on the stream. Right now, where we at this moment, it is not the greatest idea to get into any trade. It does look like that the lows here can be claimed just because we have moved up in a very three-wave structure, very corrective structure here. And for me, the probabilities are actually coming down to 107.2k, right? Get my numbers mixed up here. So yeah, eventually right now a short at a lower high here would have been an option. Shorting in this range, like I have, I'm still in a short position, guys. I will be transparent about that. And it does look like that the Friday lows is highly likely to be tested, in my opinion. And that is purely based on the new information that we do have here on the chart, which is a more of a three-wave structure. Three-wave structure to the upside. Now we're getting a very deep pullback. So to consider this bullish market structure, and we are forming a 1-2, 1-2, and then we form a higher low. The moment we lose this low right over here, it is highly likely that we are going to test this low from Friday at 107.2. But as long as we do maintain above this higher low, there is that chance. There is that chance of forming a higher low here and bouncing up here very aggressively. I have to say, this for me looks low probable. The probabilities are low for this scenario, just because this does look incredibly three-wavy. If I have to choose in between this movement down and this movement up, which one looks more corrective, then I have to say this one to the upside. And this one looks a little bit more impulsive, even though it can be counted as a correction. Now, we have a problem here. The movement to the upside looks quite impulsive, right? So why not this corrective? And then we do get that movement to the upside, maybe claim the lows and then jump back up, because this does look impulsive. There is that bullish case scenario. From the lows here, this does look impulsive. This looks corrective. This looks impulsive. Can this be corrective? And we are just going to get a rally here, sweep up the lows. Well, that all depends on the reaction here at 107.2k. It's a level that I would consider maybe taking a long position depending on the reaction and the local market structure that is created. And of course, in the Telegram signals channel, they will know if I am going to take a trading setup first of all, because that is where I share my setups here in the Telegram voice messages, still in short, still in long. What I am doing with my trades, they are the ones that are going to be getting my exact trading setups. If you want to copy them, then that is up to you, of course. Okay, if you want to join the Telegram, you got the first link down below, guys. That is where I provide my chilled trading setups. Okay, I am in a few trades still, very chilled trading, swing trading style. Not looking for scalps and day trades, even though there could be a nice scalp day trade happening today or tomorrow. That has to be explained in this live stream. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned right away, because we'll be going through the different scenarios. We can talk about the local bearish one, which is the one that I think is likely on the formation. This movement to the upside, yes, we have seen the lows here of the range from the correction of all-time high, very three-wavy. Okay, we got a three-wave move down, very corrective. And now we've had, from this low, a movement up, the corrective structure, and another move to the upside. So yes, it can be also a three-wave move to the upside. What does this mean? What does this mean right over here? Well, this could be the end of this wave, right? It could be still the initial stages where we have a multiple 1-2 scenario and we head to the upside. But with the new information that we have today, I am confident with my short trade that we could be sweeping that low of Friday. And if it is broken and we do not reclaim it, right, then of course we could be heading down to 105k. That's where we do have the point of control. This is like the crucial zone for the reaction, right? Get that kind of fake out, reclaim that point of control. This could be the long position. This could be the long position that we are looking at, okay? A new long position, a new high probability trading setup, because we are interested in high probability setups. If you want to scalp, more trades you do get into, the more probabilities you have in actually losing money, right? So we want to get into very, very high probability setups, because that is what maintains the track record. That's what makes us a profitable trader long term, right? That getting into only high probability trading setups, right? So let's go right away through a few of the scenarios. Let's talk about the local bearish one, which I think has the highest probability, guys, at the moment, just because of the new information that we have, okay? Throughout Thursday and Friday, yeah, we could have formed a higher low here and, blasted off, right, to create new all-time highs, or at least get above 110.5k. It's not the case. We did move up very correctively throughout the weekend, and this movement to the downside can be counted as an impulsive move down. So what we're looking at is a three-wave move down. Regardless if this three-wave only claims 107.2k and then bounces, or it's actually going to break down. Depending on the reaction from the Friday lows, we can see what the price action is giving us. If we maintain beneath that low and we continue dropping down with no proof of support, I'll be waiting for 105k, guys. It's just waiting and looking at the price action. We can see that information. If we do claim the lows of Friday and we start reacting and getting back above it, then I would be skeptical about coming down to 105. If we form this price action, I would say, you know what? Maybe this is actually going to be bullish. Maybe we are going to be forming a higher low here and we heading up to claim those highs from Thursday at 110.5. So I have to take initial action on my trading decisions depending on how we test those lows of Friday. We break down from them, perfect. I would be looking for those lows from the 1st of July at 105k zone. If we do get a reaction here, I would probably see the potential of the price forming a higher low and heading up to 110.5k. So that is the absolute crucial zone here for the next movement. Right now, I am quite confident that we are going to be taking out those lows, because initially on the price action, we're either looking for a 3-wave structure or a 5-wave structure. So from that corrective move down from the highs created on Thursday, we got our first leg to the downside. Then we got this bounce over here. It looks better to get some kind of a 3-wave move down, right? Sweep up those lows. Now, the overall question is, will we get down to these lows? That is my question. So depending on the reaction here, we reclaim. It might be a long position. We'll have to see. If we break down, I will be happy to see if we are going to claim those lows right over here at 105.2k. Keeping it simple, keeping it easy, guys. We could react here halfway through and then get the bounce, change market structure, form bullish CVD divergence. We do have the potential of a harmonic pattern that would be in confluence with the possibility of forming that double 1-2 setup, where we have the 1, 2, 1 and 2, and then we're looking for that third wave to head up to all-time high in the next coming days, right? We're gonna have to see, guys. Okay, for the moment, I do think it is highly likely that we do sweep up those lows. This would be a little bit of a deep pullback, okay, for a wave 2, in my personal opinion, right? If we do take a look at Fibonacci from the pivot low here to the pivot high, we've already hit the 0.88 Fibonacci. This would be rare for a wave 2. 0.88 from the lows of this little range of Sunday is actually getting a reaction. 0.88 But this is very, very rare for a 1-2-1-2, right? Hitting the 0.88 Fibonacci for a second wave is very rare, guys. Very, very rare, okay? So we can actually see that potential here of this actually coming down to sweep up these lows. We do have quite a lot of liquidity sitting down there, okay? We can see the liquidity right over here under 107.2k. We do have lots of liquidity to the upside, okay? We cannot deny that. There is a lot of liquidity above 110.5k. Lots of it, okay? However, it seems like that the structure here locally to the upside does not look too bullish. It looks quite corrective, and it would make a little bit more sense to actually sweep the liquidity below 107.2k based on the current market structure, okay? This market structure to the upside that we've had doesn't look too bullish, especially with this movement down, almost claiming this higher low. So the probabilities locally here for me are actually coming down to test those lows from Friday, looking at this new information, okay? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We're going to talk about what are the different movements that can develop in the next 1 to 2 days to take our trading decisions. There is one that I've discussed here in the Discord, also in the Signals channel, that will be given to you right now on the stream. Holding value area high of the range. We got a high volume node. I mean, this is strong support, guys. It is strong support. You can see value area high with that big high volume node, which has been providing support on Friday, right? Even though it is not the point of control, depending on what exchange, you might have point of control here, or you might even have point of control here. It doesn't really matter, okay? You've got high volume nodes in this zone, so this is really good support. It's the, a high volume node on the volume profile, and that's why we bounced on Friday as well, right? Losing value area high, but it was a bit of a fake out and getting this little bounce throughout the weekend. So I think this level can be lost, or we can have an attempt in losing the level, right? Depending on the reaction from Friday lows, it could actually be a long position depending on the reaction. So let's talk about, first of all, the bullish case scenario, okay? What is the bullish case scenario? Well, bullish case scenario is that we have finished a 3-wave corrective structure. This is the end, and from the end here at 98k, we are forming bullish market structure. Market is bullish. We are trying to be bullish here with the price action in the last 2 weeks, and we're heading up to all-time high. If we do take a look at that scenario, it would be this one right over here. And right now we are busy on the formation on the second wave, regardless if it's going to be this one or one that is going to be formed right now after sweeping up those lows from Friday. Could we form a 3-wave corrective structure, get a strong reaction here, not forming impulsive moves, reclaiming those lows, reclaiming here the value area high again of this entire range, and then look for this scenario to play out? Is that going to be the scenario that is going to be playing out here? Possibly yes, right? We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see here based on the reaction after we claim that 107.2k. If we do lose this zone, then and we get an aggressive drop, right? We lose the low here. We lose the value area high of this entire trading range. Well, eventually the next big major level is the point of control, right? Where we do have that high volume node here from this range. That would be my next target zone if we did not react from these lows. This would be a very interesting long setup if we fail to break down and we maintain above the range with local bullish market structure. This would be interesting. This scenario would not be the scenario that we're looking at, right? A multiple 1-2 setup, 1, 2, 1, and 2. This could still be forming that 3-wave structure. If we lose the level, then eventually we're not looking at this, because if you lose the lows here and you come back down to this low over here, then eventually we're not looking for a wave 2 here, right? What could we be looking at? There is one higher time frame scenario that looks very interesting that would just basically continue the range for the next coming weeks, okay? And not all-time high possibly not going to be hit in the next 1 to 2 days. It's probably going to take a week or maybe 2 weeks. This other scenario is this one right over here, where we are forming a possible ABC corrective structure on the higher time frames. Let me just explain this scenario right away, which would be this one right over here. Okay, let me just put this here on Millennium, and we'll put this right over here. Not sure why that got deleted, but regardless, we're going to explain it right away. From all-time high, remember what we talked about on the previous stream is that we still have a lot of time when we do see this impulsive move to the upside since the April lows. We've had a massive wave here to the upside, hitting all-time highs. Okay, so there is a lot of time for this correction to continue. There is still a lot of time, guys. Okay, why is there a lot of time? Well, when we do take a look at the Fibonacci time tool, okay, which is right over here, from the lows of April to the highs, right over here, we are just about crossing the 1-to-1 with the price action, meaning that today, right now, the corrective move is the same length as the impulsive move, and corrections are well known to have longer time than the impulse. It could be even twice the length of the impulse, and that is coming to the end of April. I mean, usually after the 0.618 and the 2-to-1 is when you have a correction finished. This is the usual range where you get the correction finishing according to the timing. So you can see right now that we have plenty of time still to correct, okay? Plenty of time to continue the correction. When we do take a look at the lower time frame and we look at this scenario that could be playing out, is that we could be still forming a larger ABC flat, where we have your A wave, which is completed in a 3-wave structure. In a flat, an A wave has 3 waves. In a B wave, you also have 3 waves. Now, what could be forming here is also a double zigzag, where you have a zigzag move to the upside. You could be potentially forming another zigzag down and another zigzag up. Sweeping up those lows here at 105K would actually be a very good long setup depending on the reaction. If we lose that level where we have the point of control, I wouldn't be interested. I would be waiting for value area low, look at the supports that we do have down here at 101, 102K zone. I wouldn't be in a rush really if we do lose the point of control. I would just wait for proof of support, right? Change of local market structure, value area low holding very nicely here with the golden pocket from the low to the high, right? And then we can take a decision right over here. But if we do hold the point of control, it's going to be looking very interesting, right? Because the B wave, it could be on the formation where you claim all-time high, you bounce from the point of control, looking for a long position here and targeting all-time high. I would be targeting at least this high over here and possibly all-time high, right? Depending on how we move up here. If we do get a strong reaction at 110.5K, it could be a liquidity grab, and then, we roll down over here already, right? Because a B flat doesn't need to take the highs of the start of your A wave, right? It just needs to hit the 0.9 Fibonacci from the highs to the lows of your A wave, which hasn't been hit. Almost hit here on last Thursday, but it was not hit. Okay, so this is an interesting setup. Okay, it's a possible movement that could get developed in the next 1 to 2 days. If it is going to move down to 105K, this is the zone that I'm looking for proof of support. Proof of support means that you fail to break down and you get acceptance back above those lows from the 1st of July, 2nd of July, right? Which is sitting at 105.2K zone. If you fail to break down here, this would be one structure that I'm looking at, okay? This would be one structure that I'm looking at where the price could get big support. A long would be interesting, okay? And would be targeting at least the highs here at 110.5K from last Thursday. So it's a nice movement of, $5,000, give or take, might be even $7,000 if it does get to all-time high. But it's a very possible setup. This is how the market moves. This could be one of the movements that could develop in the next coming days. I'm not sure if it is going to come down there between today and tomorrow, but if it does, I have a plan. I have support with the point of control. I have a structure according to 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗽 theory, and I know where to take my next trading decision. In this case would be a long position, okay? This would be a high probability trading setup, and this would be the one that I would be interested in to get into, okay? And I only want high probability trading setups. I want to maintain the track record. I want to maintain profitable trades month after month, right? So that would be one of them that I would be looking at here, legends, okay? Which is looks very, very interesting. And of course, I will be providing in the Discord or the Telegram exactly when I'm entering that trade, how I'm managing my trading position, where's my stop loss, where's my target zone. If I'm still in the position, that is provided here in the Telegram, guys, okay, where I do post the video updates, what I'm looking at, still in the short, still in the long, and just providing my entire trading, okay, account, all right, in the Telegram and also in the Discord. So if you're interested in joining that, you have the first link down below to join the Telegram, guys, okay? So that's one scenario. This does actually look very interesting. There are multiple scenarios that the range could continue, and we could be losing 105k, and we could actually be going to lower levels as well, okay? There is more scenarios eventually, because if you do have a three-wave structure here, we do know that we have a lot of time, guys, still easily to the end of August, even halfway through September, for this to continue, this range to continue. We ain't going to go on the other scenarios just because I think it's just not, well, I mean, if we were to lose the point of control, you would be asking questions. You'll be like, I thought all-time high is going to happen. It is still highly likely, even though if we do claim 98k, guys. I mean, if we do lose the point of control and the value area low in the coming days, say that we do get that aggressive drop, we don't see proof of support, we come down the value area low and we just continue dropping, and it's like, wow, what's going on? I thought all-time high was going to happen. There is another scenario as well, which just is part of the large complex corrective range. And let me just simply explain that. As we did have a three-wave corrective structure to the downside, okay, we do have a possible three-wave move to the upside here. If the price were to move down in a three-wave move like this to claim the lows, this could still be part of an X wave. Then we move back up here to claim all-time highs, and what we would be looking at is a possible extremely long WXY that could still be on the formation for the next coming weeks, right? And you're like, wow, this range is just going to continue and continue. It's just a three-wave structure down in W. Possible flat. You could sweep up the lows here at 98k. You got three waves up in A B wave right over here that claims the low, claims 98k, could get 97, 96k, and then you get that move to the upside in a C wave to form your X. It's an ABC flat for your X wave. And then right over here you form a triangle, right? Or you form another flat, okay, that could be very confusing, right? And then you head up to all-time high. The range could continue for the next coming weeks, guys, especially in the summer where we're probably not having too much volume. But I literally haven't got this on a folder because we'll cover that as soon as we lose the point of control, for example, right? If we lose the point of control, then I would be talking about this scenario, right? Which is just a larger WXY, still forming the massive range. And this is very, very common after a major large move to the upside, right? We've got a massive move to the upside since April, right? This was a big movement up. we've seen this before, right? Look at this epic move to the upside that we had from January all the way up to March in 2024, going from $38,000 all the way up to $72,000, $73,000. And this range was massive. A massive multi-monthly range, guys. A complex WXY structure where you had a three-wave corrective structure right over here. As you can see on the chart, you did have a possible flat structure running flat right over here, okay? And then you had a triangle, right? You could see this as a triangle. So yeah, big ranges can be formed. This was also the summer of 2024. We did not reach all-time high. You could label this as a WXY right over here, where you have the zigzag move down in W. You have the running flat in your wave X. As you can see, you claimed the lows again, but you got an epic bounce. And then you form the triangle, where you can count here very nicely a B, C, D. Oh, my bad. Wrong tool. An A, B, C, D, E, where you have the movement down here, the B wave, C, D, and a small little E wave that did not come down to claim the base of the triangle, right? Just a shallow E wave right over here that ended up, okay? And then the bullish market structure continued to the upside. This was a multi-monthly complex corrective structure, guys, as you can see, right? It's literally something like this. Nobody likes to see these complex corrections, but you have a flat or a zigzag, then you have a zigzag or a flat in your wave X, and then a triangle in your wave Y. And it's just a long sideways momentum, right? If you're taking a look at the higher time frames. Could this be the scenario? Well, we did have one right over here in 2024. Zigzag down, a running flat right over here, a triangle, blah, 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 just very long and boring. So could this still be happening for the price of Bitcoin? We're just going to continue the range, and it's just going to be very boring. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. I mean, this could still go on for several more weeks. You just maybe have your zigzag move down here. Maybe you could be forming the flat and then a triangle, very similar to that price action that we formed back in 2024, which was incredibly corrective, long and boring. But this gives you major opportunities. We knew also back in 2024 that this was corrective and it was a matter of time to claim all-time highs. So if you move down to the lows of this corrective structure, this is where the opportunities lie, guys. You do not need to be fearful if the lows are claimed, because this is where you want to get into long positions. So if the price does come down to claim $98,000, guys, just as I did get into a long position also at 98K, guys, you know that. I've been taking some profits eventually from those lows, but it's the same scenario. If we come down to claim 98K in the next coming weeks, it's still going to be an awesome opportunity if you do get that liquidity grab reaction, okay? Because this is looking very corrective, and a drop down here, successful drop down, is highly unlikely. So claiming the lows of this range would just bring you those awesome swing positions. They are swing positions, okay? At the lows. We need to be aggressive taking those long positions at the lows, because it gives you a great opportunity. When you understand that this movement is corrective and that the probabilities, even if you sweep up the lows, is highly likely that you are going to get a massive bounce, then you need to take those opportunities down there. Just like the opportunities came here back in 2024. I also got into some long positions in this range, okay? Understanding that this is a corrective structure and taking out the highs is just a matter of time. Same scenario applies in this range. However, what we do not know is when is the end in, right? We could say that the low could be in already right over here and you're forming multiple 1-2s. I'm not favoring this scenario too much just because with the new information that we have, it does look more corrective. We could claim the lows from Friday and, you know, maybe hit 106K, get a beautiful reaction, bullish market structure. I will be happy to jump into a long position here, guys, okay? Even though I'm favoring a little bit more corrective moves down, I would jump into a long position if the chart gives me that information that we are holding here. We're changing bullish market structure. We're reclaiming those lows. We've got bullish CVD divergence, lots of selling pressure kicking in here. We've claimed some liquidity. Perfect. Maybe if we get down and claim that liquidity from the lows of Friday, we've claimed already liquidity and we head up to the highs. I want to see that low claimed, and depending on the reaction, I will take that trading decision, which the Telegram they will know instantly, right? If I get into the trade. So this is still possible. The low could be in here, guys. The low could be in. But I prefer the other scenarios, right? Sweeping up this low and even maybe coming down to 98K. I mean, I would be happy for that to happen. It would just bring another great long-in opportunity. Long profits, profits have been taken from the long. So, if I do get another opportunity, I'm happy to hold the short and happy to look for longs later on in the coming days, right? It's a very, very chilled way of trading. Getting into swing longs and shorts from the lows of the range and the highs of the range, right? So it's just a very easy way of trading inside of a big range. Short the highs, long the lows, right? You want to short the highs and you want to long the lows, right? So it's just a very, very simple, easy way of trading, a complex sideways corrective structure, right? Just as mentioned here on the screenshot here, right? Where you have, this is literally a range: short the highs, long the lows; short the highs, long the lows of the range. So this is literally what could be on the formation here for Bitcoin. So I'm gonna go quickly through the comment section. Trading levels are relatively easy and simple for me, guys, and they should be for you. It's a liquidity game, so sweeping up the local lows here from Friday at 107.2k, I mean, depending on the reaction, you get that bounce. I would still give the chance for a multiple 1-2 setup. You just formed a 3-wave structure here. It's getting a little bit long in timing compared to this impulse, but you could be forming a bullish harmonic pattern. It's just a zigzag also. You could be forming that harmonic, right? 𝗬𝗏𝗽 pattern here as well. Still form a higher low. Maybe you could form some bullish CVD divergence right over here, where you do have lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the price action, sorry, and lower lows on the CVD. I mean, we are far away. Doesn't look too good for bullish CVDs. Okay, we have to see a lot of selling pressure here, a lot of it, a lot of shorts entering the market, so we do get those lower lows on the CVD. I mean, we do have them on Bybit, US dollar pair, but not on the other exchanges. Not many people are interested in shorts, so maybe we could go to lower levels, right? Throughout the other exchanges here, which is in the white, we need to get below this low over here, right? So we need some pretty aggressive shorts entering the market here. Lots of shorts entering. So we just sweep up the lows from Friday and maintain higher lows here and lower lows on the CVD. And depending on the reaction here, we could be looking for some longs, right? And we do have that, bullish 𝗬𝗏𝗽 pattern, which is in confluence as well with the possible Elliott wave bullish scenario, which is a 1-2-1-2 setup. We're just going to have to see how we claim those lows on Friday, guys. And if we lose those lows from Friday, then I'm just going to wait till we actually come down to claim the lows of the 1st, 2nd of July. And depending on the reaction here, then we can see if we are going to be forming that other scenario, which is a larger, sideways corrective structure. And you know, in simple terms, it could be a zigzag down and you form a zigzag up, double zigzag in this case, 𝗖𝗍𝘃. And you know, what we're looking at here is the B formation of a larger flat structure, right? You claim all-time highs and you fail to break above it. I mean, we could be looking for some shorts later on, but I'm more interested in and looking for longs at support here. I mean, shorts should have been taken in this range. Without a doubt, it's an option. But a long trade setup, you know, in a nutshell, if the bullish case scenario is going to happen, we cannot lose successfully the lows from Friday. You can dip down below, perfect, hit the 7/8 Fibonacci, reclaim the level, form that Gartley pattern, double 1-2. Depending on what happens on the reaction, we reclaim those lows. It's a long trigger. It can be a long trigger. I want to sweep those lows. I want to sweep that liquidity. It is a liquidity game, so sweeping up the lows is going to be, you know, eventually what we're waiting for here to take a long, right? This is not the best level to take a long position, right? Especially considering that three-wave structure that we formed to the upside. The movement up looks extremely corrective, right? There's never in a million years that I would take a long position anywhere here without sweeping up this low. It's just not, it's low probability. If you long here right now where we at, you know, even though we might have that high volume node from this zone, it is support, but when we consider the structure, there's nothing beautiful about this structure, right? The retracement is too low. You're almost hitting the higher low, the lows from this zone. We are at support. We are at the point of control. So a bounce, you know, it is very, very much possible in this area. It's just not the greatest long position, just because you have a three-wave move up here. And this retracement is a little too aggressive to consider this a wave 2 and this a wave 2 right over here. 1-2, 1-2. A little bit aggressive. It is support. We could bounce. If you're a scalper, you know, your invalidation here in simple terms is this low. If you claim this low right over here, then there's high probability that you claim 107.2k, the lows from Friday. So I mean, you take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, this is support. I just wouldn't favor a massive bounce. Okay, yeah, this could bounce because it is the point of control and there is support, but you know, I wouldn't favor this as a kind of a bounce to claim the highs. In hindsight, of course, you know, this could happen. It could happen. It's just not the greatest movement that I would be analyzing on, right? I just don't see this highly likely. Could it bounce from here? Yes. But I would expect this bounce to finally come back down to sweep up this low. And just because this movement down has retraced to very low levels when we consider this leg to the upside, it's not the greatest higher low in a wave 2 to get all the way down to the 0.88 Fibonacci. Yeah, just not good. I mean, if you are an aggressive scalper, it is support. You know, I would be targeting the VWAP. You know, these are very quick, simple scalping levels. Point of control, invalidation, higher low. You know, VWAP could be hit. Looking for a 2.5, 3 to 1 risk to reward, right? Give or take, depending on where you're entering. But you are at local support. VWAP here would be obviously a take profit zone, and you know, I'm just really favoring the high chance of testing the lows of last Friday, right? Well, that's my main idea here looking at the charts. It would be very rare here if you do get a bounce and successfully come up to the highs of the weekend, which is 109.7. This would be a rare movement, very rare, very rare. When you retrace that much here in a double 1-2. Muy raro. Muy raro. Si hace esto el precio del Bitcoin. Muy raro. So anyway, let's go right away through so the comment section, guys. Sorry, I'm just really focusing here on some several scenarios. Make sure to destroy the like button, guys, on your way in, on your way out, if you wish. And remember that Weeks right now has an incredible bonus. I think that there's about 20 left, okay, because it's the first 100 users that sign up to Weeks gets $100, guys, just by linking your phone number. Take advantage of this $100 that you will get instantly, okay, by linking your phone number. You get also 25% fee reduction and 20% deposit bonus, up to $30,000, right, in bonuses as well. You only need an email and a password to sign up to Weeks, okay? Take advantage, guys. You do have it in the pinned comment, or it's the fourth link down below, okay, if you want to trade on Weeks. For $300 for the first 100 users, plus 25% fee reductions, guys. Take advantage on Weeks right away. Let's go through comment section and see the different possibilities. You know, I do very much like this scenario. You know, if we do lose the lows from Friday, we do not reclaim them, then eventually I'm looking at the point of control at 105k zone. Keeping it very simple here, guys. You know, very simple and easy way of trading. Reaction here at the lows, we do see this possibility, right, which is forming that larger ABC, okay? You're looking for all-time highs to be hit on the reaction here at 105k if we do reclaim those levels. And if we do lose the levels, then we'll talk about the other bearish case scenarios, which is forming a much larger WXY, guys, okay? In simple terms, it would be just be a massive sideways WXY, where you have a 3-wave structure. You got a 3-wave up, you know, 3-wave down, and then a 5-wave up, okay, to form your X wave. You look just a very large flat here, and still to form that X wave. But we need to lose the lows, right? Once we lose the lows and we don't reclaim them, if we suddenly drop down and start losing the levels, we'll talk about this scenario, right, that I do have on the chart, which would just be a massive continuation of the range for the summer. Let's go right away, say hello to the beautiful community, okay? I think the scenarios and levels are relatively simple and easy to understand, guys. Long setup at these levels, long setup here. Eventually, it's after a liquidity grab and a reclaim of the levels. It's a liquidity grab and a reclaim of the levels. Then this could actually be a long, this could actually be a long. If we were to bounce from here, the next level to short, then I would be quite interested, even though I would take it as a scalp short, considering the possibility of a bullish move to the upside, which has finished correction 1-2-1-2. If the price in this zone starts moving up very aggressively, I need to be aware that we could be forming a third wave. I need to be aware that we could be forming a third wave. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? All-time high. We head to much higher levels. The shorts need to be taken with a pinch of salt, and you need to have a guideline, okay? The guideline for me is simple. It's a liquidity grab above 110.5k. We get above the levels, we claim that liquidity, and if we do reject from those highs, for me, it's a potential failed breakout. I mean, look at the liquidity above 110.5k. There's a lot of it, guys. Of course, there's a lot of liquidity also to the downside here. But as it is a liquidity game, claiming those highs, okay, above 110.5, where there's a lot of liquidity, I just like the fact that we have 3 lower highs. We got lower high here, lower high right there, not claiming that high, and this high right over here also not claiming this high, where there is a lot of liquidity sitting right there above 110.5k. So yeah, it's an interesting level. It's an interesting level of liquidity where you would be expecting a possible swing failure pattern. However, I would maintain some of that short open, but I would be aggressively taking profits on the correction coming down to the 50% to the golden pocket of the movement up. Why would I be taking profit from an epic swing failure pattern liquidity grab and dropping down a couple of $1,000 at the 50% golden pocket zone, because we have this scenario on the chart. Finished 3-wave structure, 1 2 1 2 1 2, you know, and we just end up flying in a third wave here, 4 5 4 5. We just continue a massive bullish momentum. So yeah, it is a epic short position. I would take it as a scalp day trade, just considering the bullish case, and it might even blast off in a third wave already. So it might not even swing failure pattern from those highs. It might just take the movement up. So you do not need to take the short here. You only take the short if you get the acceptance back below, because your stop loss is the highs of the rejection. You know, and it's a 2, maybe 3 to 1 risk to reward, but you need to consider the bullish market structure. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Right, you just need to consider the structure is bullish. So if you're getting into a short on a liquidity grab, you need to consider the bullish market structure. No matter how bearish you are, because you feel bearish, and you have, we do have the Trump's 90-day tariff pause ends on July 9th. We don't know how this is going to, you just don't know how the market is going to react, if it is going to be bullish or bearish. So you need if this short is taken, by no means I would take it as a epic swing short. You could leave some open with the position protected on the SFP, because you might not form a higher low here. The market structure is bullish, so the market could take that movement up. So it's a setup, guys. It is a setup. It's a short that I would be willing to take on the SFP. Stop loss above the high of the rejection. Could this break down later on? We'll maintain some of that short position open just in case it does. Right? So yeah, it's one scenario. It's a scenario that it's a shorting setup zone. If you break it up and you maintain above it, no short to be taken, all-time high next. Okay, the overall scenarios that we are discussing here, regardless if the range is going to continue, right? If the range is going to continue, or the low is in here already, or we do form this scenario, which is a flat, you take out all-time high, you then come down. All of the scenarios point out that all-time high is a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time that all-time high comes, no matter the corrections, no matter if we sweep up 98K. All of the scenarios point out that all-time high is next, right? All-time high is next here for the price of Bitcoin. And that is simply just realizing that the movement down from all-time high has been corrective. So what if the corrective continues or not? It doesn't matter. All-time high is expected. Let's go right away through the comment section, because I haven't said hello to the beautiful community. We do have the link here for weeks from Crypto Big Brains. Claim $100 for free, guys, for the first 100 users. Check it out right away. Let's go through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community, see what's going on. Bitcoin is getting that small little bounce right over here from that high volume node, right over here in this zone. Very, very nice indeed. Little bounce reaction from that high volume node right over here, getting that reactive bounce after sweeping up this higher low. So if you wanted to take that long position, you need to be a little bit defensive. Eventually your stop loss is the lows. Want to be defensive. It would be rare for the price, okay, would be rare for the price to form a higher low here and bounce very aggressively, okay? This is too much of a pullback from this low to consider it a wave 2. It does this. If you are going to consider an impulse, this does look better as an impulse. This looks better as a correction. And as we are looking for 3 waves or 5 waves, it would make a lot of sense that we take out the lows of Friday at some point, okay? That's what would make more sense when we consider the lower time frame. So let's go right away and Continue through the comment section. XRP could wait any longer. Couldn't wait any longer. What is XRP doing? Is XRP taking the massive move to the upside? It could not wait any longer. We did get a little move to the upside on XRP. We're still very, very rangy. XRP does look bullish, guys. Same scenario. The movement down since the pump that we had is very corrective, regardless if we take out the lows or not. It's a corrective bullish pennant, if you wish, and it's a matter of time that XRP does actually get another leg up to claim those highs, guys. It looks very, very good for all of those XRP holders. It seems like we're going to have a nice move at some point to the upside. Are you a successful trader? Why are you on YouTube then and selling courses also? Well, I do have apartments and I do rent them. I do get an income. I do have several sources of income, my man, okay? Many of them, all right? And YouTube and obviously affiliate marketing and also trading, you know, bring it on. Bring it on. I can, you know, multiple sources of income, right? The same question I ask you. If I have money, you might think, why do you buy apartments and rent them? Why are you also buying apartments and renting them if you are a successful trader? Well, it's all about expanding your sources of income, okay? So it doesn't matter. I give the education, I give the scenarios. I have a Telegram where I provide the setups and the long trading setup that I got in here with the track record, with the data, guys. Ask data to the traders. Are you successful? Show me your track record. Show me that you're in a group providing the entry points and you are getting into the setups. There it is. I have no problem. This is forming multiple sources of income. I have apartments and I get rent based on the apartments that I have. Well, why do you buy apartments and, you know, get rent? Why do you have gold? Why do you have Bitcoin if you're a successful trader, right? Why do you even bother if you're a successful? Well, it's all about expanding your income, okay? I have multiple sources of income, right? YouTube is also one of them. Education is also one of them, right? And I'm not fearful of being that educator because I have a track record. I can share you the trades that I get into, right? It's all good. It's all nice. It's no problem, right? Why would you buy apartments and rent them if you're a successful trader, right? It's the same question. I also make an income as an educator, right? So there's no issue on that. But I do get that there's a lot of fake gurus out there. Trading is not easy, okay? Trading is not easy, and it is difficult to make consistent profits if you're not careful. This is why a lot of the times I say, I'm going to wait for this level. Regardless if the price shoots up here, I have better levels to get into a trade, either a short or either a long, depending on how we react here. If we lose it and continue down and we don't reclaim that level, I'm not going to long. I'm going to wait for this level. If we move down and then reclaim the level and change market structure, I might take a decision on that long trade. So we need to be remaining very, very patient on the best levels, okay? The best levels. I only want to take the best trading setups, and remaining patient and waiting for them. Right now in the middle here, I just wouldn't, I mean, yeah, we got a bounce from that point of control. If you're an aggressive scalper, I did share that, you know, we could bounce from here and get a bounce to the VWAP, right? If you want to take that scalp, then you have it right there. But according to big swing trades, right, I wouldn't, you know, higher levels would be better for a short, right? Higher levels, 109K plus would be better for a swing short to attempt to hit 107 and 105, right? You got a bit more of a swing movement. But in this level right now, for me personally, I wouldn't be too interested in either a swing short or a swing long, right? You got the highs of the weekend and the lows of Friday. Yeah, you're in the middle here. You know, let's try and sweep up that liquidity. That would be an interesting short. Or let's sweep up the liquidity below the Friday lows. That would be an interesting long if you do reclaim the level. If you lose it, then we look for the next low, right? It's a liquidity game. So claim the liquidity and then look for the trade. So anyway, just wanted to give that explanation. No, hey, I do get it, okay? There's a lot of content creation and expert technical analysts out there there are those fake gurus, and obviously they want to pump up their content on YouTube and affiliate marketing, which is fine. I do get, this is affiliate marketing as well, right? Eventually, I work with these exchanges. I do use them. I do use Bluffin. I do use many of them, Bybit eventually as well. And yeah, they do give a commission, of course, but they are legit platforms. But it's another way of income, right? It's just another way of income, right? I do get it, okay? It is true, though. There are many fake gurus out there. And I do get the point of why are you, selling courses and doing affiliate marketing as well if you're a successful trader. Well, it's just another income. It's just another income, right? I wouldn't buy apartments or buy gold or diversify, if I'm only a successful trader, right? If I do make the money, I need to invest that money as well. So anyway, too many fake gurus that will scam you and is the real deal. I do try my best, okay? Stop losses will be hit. You'll never see a track record. I do have bumps. I do have bumps throughout the trading career because they're stop losses, right? It's just inevitable. But the overall growth, I'm looking for consistency because we only look for high probability setups. It is boring, guys. Trading is boring. It has to be very, very boring, but it gives you that freedom, right? Of timing. Well, timing. I'm very, very busy. I do have the alerts on the phone when the levels are hit. But yeah, what can I say? But trading is not easy, guys. If you are looking to get rich in a short period of time, like a few months, you will likely lose money if you want to get rich with $5,000 or $10,000. If you want to double your account in a week, it's just not going to happen, guys. It can happen, but if it does, it's because you're risking too much. I can get into a setup here. And, I could, if I was so confident from this long, why didn't I risk more, right? I made over $10,000 profit on this leg up in the last couple of weeks. Why? I have much more capital. Why didn't you risk, a $20 million position? Because I don't need to, right? I like to scale up my account. You scale up, you manage risk, right? And it's just small, consistent profits. That's what you do here. Anyway, brother, please, I've tried asking like 100 times. What's this? Let me go through the comment section. I'm very bad with the comment section. Need your opinion on fib time from 74K impulse and how that affects probabilities. Okay, Fibonacci time from 74K. I think we did talk about this. Oh no, probably not this one. From 74K, Fibonacci time. Yeah, I did talk about this. The range could continue for many weeks. All-time high could be claimed and then a correction, which would still be bullish. It would literally be forming an ABC flat. Or a WXY, which is another scenario. You could form a triangle here later on. Very similar to what happened in this massive long downtrend range. When you talk about timing here, there is a lot of time from the low of 74K. I did slightly talk about this at the beginning of the stream. Fibonacci time from the low to the high. We're only just crossing the 1-to-1 right now, today. Meaning that the timing of the correction today from all-time high is the same timing. It's the same length right now from the impulse. You can see, right? It's the same length. Usually corrections are longer than the impulsive move. Usually. Which, means that this could still correct for several more weeks. You could still hit all-time high or correct down, continue the range, all-time high, then a triangle here, right? And just form a very, very large range. And it could be twice the length of the impulse. It could be 3 times longer than the impulse. That is fine. The moment you cross 4 times longer, it gets a bit overextended. So there's still a lot of time here for this to range, hit all-time high, come back down to sweep up the lows, then bounce. There's a lot of time because corrections are usually longer than the impulsive move, either down or up, it doesn't matter. Corrective structures usually are longer, not always. Most of the times, 90% of the times, over 90% of the times, you at least cross the 382 Fibonacci timing, right? It needs to be 38% at least from the impulse that you do cross it. So that's also something that you consider a lot, because over 95% of the times you do cross the 382 Fib time. So if a correction finishes here and you move up, you haven't crossed the 382 Fibonacci timing, always consider it that you're probably not going to hit all-time high and break it successfully, and that you're going to continue the range, because over 95% of the times you do cross the 38% of timing of the impulse. So if you are dropping down and and then you get a bounce, but you haven't crossed the 382 Fib time, you are probably not going to move up successfully here, meaning that you're still in a corrective range. So timing is very important, okay, when you consider, taking some trading decisions. And right now, as you mentioned, the timing from the lows to the highs, we still have a lot of time for this to range, right? And the best example that we could give you, is this one right over here. This is also very, very, long in time, you would say. Yeah, this did cross Fibonacci time. We could have a discussion here on where the low is. The low could be here. It could be here, because you can consider all of this. This is a triangle corrective structure, and your impulsive move, potentially starts from this pivot low or this pivot. It doesn't really matter. There would be a little difference of timing here, but say that this was the low, or this was the low here. If you consider it a triangle and you get to the highs, you could consider this a flat structure. Well, when you take a look at Fibonacci time, this did cross over the 1-to-1, right? Almost hitting the 1.382 in timing. So the correction here was very, very, was longer than the impulse, which is very, very common to see. And when you do take a look at this corrective, this was massive. This was absolutely huge. We could have a discussion here on where the low was exactly. I would say that, very, very likely the low was here to here, right? That this is your impulse. So you got this impulse, this correction, this is your impulse, and this is your correction right over here. So when you do take a look at Fibonacci timing here, from the lows to the highs, this one right over here was just crossing the 0.618. So this was actually a little bit shorter if you consider the time that the impulse, right? If you could consider this the impulse, there's a few scenarios here of multiple 1-2 setups. But if you were to take the impulse from this pivot low, because this was a movement up, this was a correction flat. If you do consider this the impulse, well, when you do take a look at the timing from this low to this high, well, this was, hang on a minute, wrong tool. Yeah, this was, over twice the length of this impulse, right? The correction was twice the length, which obviously, as mentioned, this could still very much range when you consider this the impulse, right? This would be small in timing. This could still be double the length. So yeah, there's just still time for the possible correction to continue here, legends. Let's see how many likes we do have. Let's get that like button absolutely destroyed, legends. If you do enjoy the content, we're going to go through the comment section. Okay, I've explained the scenarios. It is a little bit rangy and a little bit boring right now with the price of Bitcoin. As mentioned, for me right now, there is high probability that the lows of Friday is going to be claimed. This is a very rare structure to form a higher low. It is bullish structure, but considering the movement down and the 3-wave move to the upside, with this retracement coming all the way down here to the 0.88 Fibonacci from this pivot low to the pivot high, tells me that there is high probability that the price will visit the Friday lows at some point. And depending if we're going to break down or if we get a reaction, it might be a long, or if we break down, off we come down here to the lows at 105.2K. So in a nutshell, what I'm looking at is, boom, reaction, might be a long, boom, no reaction, we visit the lows. Depending on the reaction, we might get a long here, we might get a long here, we might get no long. And we just nuke down. So alerts are set. The Telegram community and the Discord will be the first to know if I get into a trading setup. Mainly a long position on the corrections, depending on the reaction. If you are interested, guys, we do have the Telegram where I update my trading setups. There's information from my analysts as well. If you are interested in that, join the Telegram, okay? It is free to join. Okay, so make sure to join the Telegram and get that information to join the Signals channel. Let's go right away. There is a super chat here from 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍. Thanks for the €5, my man. I'll get a coffee with that. Thank you very much, my brother. What do you think about 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿? 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿 has been very, very hyped throughout the last few years. It's been one of the best crypto performers throughout 2022 2023 lows, right? This one did get into a bull market, okay? This one did have an epic bull market, right? It went from 0.001 cent all the way up to almost 20 cents, right? In 2024, making over 100x. I don't know how much this one did, but it did do very, very well. So, I mean, this one did have an altcoin season. About this project, it's just like many other ones, okay? It did have a bull market. My opinion, I haven't done my proper research on 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿, but I was never interested in investing in 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿 in 2024, just realizing the epic bull run that it already had, okay? So, if we do take a look at 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿, on the chart, I was, never interested in buying 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿, since we've done the analysis in the last few years, because I realized that this already had a very, very strong bull run, right? Could it be part of the future of crypto? Absolutely, yes. I mean, I have no personal opinion on the project because I haven't done my proper research on the actual project, but I know a lot of people have been very bullish on 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿, and there must be some reasons why. So, according to the technicals, I think a larger correction. I would want to see a bottom formation on this one in the next coming months to consider it might be a good buying opportunity once the sideways momentum is formed. But yeah, I mean, nothing much has to say on 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿. I haven't done my proper research, my man, on that one. Solana, got someone here very, very mad. Yeah, we can take a look at Solana later on. Someone is seeing 589 show videos. What's this? So I make your thumbnails, Abdullah. Yeah, thumbnails. Oh, you're saying that my thumbnails are bad? XRP is mega centralized. Wouldn't recommend. Yeah, in the 𝗬𝗍𝘍, XRP without a doubt is extremely centralized. Crypto is not made for centralization. Crypto, the whole meaning of crypto, of Bitcoin, is decentralization. Own your asset, right? Have no control from middleman. And XRP, as somebody said here, right, in the 𝗬𝗍𝘍, is extremely centralized. Okay, BTC is king, says Phantom. Alt season already over. We had many alts that did have a bull run. Just sell your alts and change it to Bitcoin, right? This is why Bitcoin has to be your top, in your portfolio. Why don't you use ExoChart? I do have ExoChart. I do see it. I do use it. I do use it sometimes just to see, if there's any massive longs or shorts entering the market. In this case, we do have lots of longs entering here at the lows, which is providing that CVD divergence on the on the price of of Bitcoin on Bybit, right? Lots of longs entering here, which eventually is no bueno. And this is not a good level to long, let me tell you that. I mean, if you're taking it as a scalp and you're defensive, I didn't like it. I think the lows here are likely going to be swept. For some reason, lots of longs entered here on Bybit, forming those lower highs on price action, higher highs on the CVD. And we can see the longs entering here on XO chart. What does that mean? Lots of longs entering here with bearish CVD divergence, that you're going to have a lot of stop losses beneath here, the 107.7, 107.2, which are likely going to get liquidated. Lots of longs entering here on Bybit. We can see that, on XO chart here, which is interesting. I mean, this is good to see where there's lots of longs or shorts entering the market, and with your technical analysis, then that could give you confidence that we're likely going to take those lows from Friday, okay, based on the amount of longs that are entering here. Retail longs mainly, right? I do use it, not that much. Reason I don't use it that much is because I don't need it, right? So I do use it. I do read it sometimes just for a little bit of confirmation, but I don't use it that much, to be honest. Not needed. So, but yeah, I do have it. It's like, why don't you use RSI? Why don't you use MACD? Why don't you use Market Cipher, right? Just don't need it. Don't use it, don't need it. I don't need it for my trading decisions. I have very clear invalidation levels, right? Only on market structure, right? Price action market structure with Elliott wave, with high volume nodes, naked point of controls is kind of enough. Just with market structure, you can realize what is the highest probability movement that could happen, right? And then you take that decision accordingly. Let's see how many likes, guys. We are almost 200 likes. Let me just quickly take a hike before we continue with the comment section, and then we can, the trading decisions next are explained, guys. Regardless, sweep up this higher low. Depending on the reaction, I will take that trading decision. Sweep up this low over here. Depending on the reaction, I will take that trading decision. If we lose the levels and we don't reclaim them, then lower we go. If we get a bounce from here, there is this short at 110.5k as an SFP. If we reject, I would be willing to take a short, stop loss above the high. I would only take it as a scalp because I consider that this could be a multiple 1-2 setup and we could be heading up to all-time high and breaking a third wave, okay? Longs are actually more in advantage because all of the scenarios regarding the most bearish one locally, which is taking out 98k, would still point out that all-time high is going to happen. Okay, so all of the scenarios point out that all-time high is going to happen at some point. So we need to consider the shorts with very good risk management. Okay, I mean, that's my point of view. You can take that with a pinch of salt. We can get that like button to 300 likes. I did say that if we do get to 500 likes on stream, I would be doing a $500 giveaway. That would be from one of the trading setups that I've already been taking profits from. If we do get to 500 likes, it's not going to be possible right now. Just over 400 people watching, so it's kind of a mission impossible at the moment. But yeah, I need to see those likes pumping. And I'll go through the comment section, okay? Let's get to 250 likes and I will be back right away. Continue through the comment section. We can take a look at some altcoins. There is a bit of news there is very interesting that I want to talk about as well. And once I'm back, we'll go through the comment section. All right, legends, let's go right away. Continue through the comment section. What is the bias right now? I think there is a high chance that we could be claiming the Friday lows, okay? Right now, my bias is higher time frame take out all-time high, lower time frame there is that chance of forming a higher low here. Okay, I think the lows of Friday is highly likely going to be taken. Depending on the reaction in this zone, if we do get bullish CVD divergence from this pivot, we change bullish market structure. If we do get a kind of a 5-wave pump here and a correction, I would instantly flip bullish. Okay, I would instantly flip quite bullish here to say, okay, this could be it, right? And what we're looking at is you know, getting that movement to the upside in the multiple 1-2 setup. So yeah, market structure is bullish. I wouldn't give the highest probability right now that this is the low and that we are going to move. You know, for me, my bias right now is actually taking out that low at 107.2k, just because this would be rare. It would be rare to form a higher low here and start pumping in the next coming hours. It would be rare. Of course, it's possible, but the main reason why this would be rare is from the low of Friday. If we are considering this structure bullish, 1-2 correction, 1-2 correction, eventually this is not a 3 because you're overlapping this pivot high already. So you need to only consider a multiple 1-2 setup. If this is a double 1-2 and then it's 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? You are retracing down to the 0.88 Fibonacci. You're retracing down almost to the lows of the start of this impulse. What does that mean? That means that it is extremely rare, considering Elliott wave theory, that a wave 2 does retrace almost to the lows of the start of that impulse. So my bias right now is that we are going to take out the 107.2k low from Friday, just based on this information that we have on the chart. It would be very rare to form a higher low here and bounce up and not take out this low, based on very locally, right? This is very, very locally, guys. Now, take out this low over here is what I'm expecting. Then, depending on how we take out this low, there's only two options. You break down and you do not reclaim these lows. Then obviously I'm looking for 105k. You claim those lows and you reclaim it, right? You do not break down successfully. Then there could be some long opportunities here. I could speculate onto some longs with good risk management, maybe target 110.5k. But right now, the highest probability in this range with this new information is taking out this low from Friday. Purely based on what I explained. 1-2, 1-2. Yeah, a wave 2 to retrace that low from the start of the impulse and bounce successfully is very, very rare. Very, very rare. Of course, you cannot say it's impossible. So it's just rare. And according to what usually happens, if you do have this 3-wave structure and you retrace very close from the low, there's a high chance that you're just going to take out this low. Okay, so that's very locally here. It's only a move of $1,000, but the reading of the chart of the price action with nothing else, just looking at the price action, I do realize that there's a high probability in taking out this low. With no other information, right? There's nothing on the chart. Almost 100k subs. Yes, very, very true. Almost 100k. I think it's going to happen in maybe 1 or 2 months. We'll see. Devil is a legend. Devil is the legend. Yeah, Devil is the legend. Here he is. Wow, the technical analysis in this channel is just insane. So much alpha for free. Devil, my man, much love to you. If you don't know who Devil is, guys, make sure to subscribe to Devil. He's here in the comment section. If you put Devil Trading, okay, you can see him right away. He's an absolute legend. He does provide insane alpha every single day, almost every single day. He is a coach in the Legends trading community. And here he is, guys. I'm going to post him I'm going to put his channel in the comment section right away, guys. Go and subscribe to 𝗬𝗍 right away because he's an absolute legend. Here he is, right over here, 𝗬𝗍 Trading, okay? He is a coach in the Legends trading community as well, providing massive alpha every single day. Here he is, guys. Make sure to check him out. Well done, sir. Aranya, much love. Why XRP pumping, guys? Maybe just a little pump, nothing too serious. 𝗬𝗍 is gold or digital gold. BTC says crypto big brains. Absolutely. Aditya, my man, much love to you. Uniswap chart looks good, says one of my moderators, Aditya here. Uniswap looks very, very good on the chart. Yeah, I mean, it does look very, 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 very good. It could be forming multiple 1-2s here to the upside. Looks very, very interesting. So, yeah, not much more to say on Bitcoin here. I am looking for the lows of Friday to be claimed. And, yeah, we're keeping it simple. We've got a little bit of inefficiency right there, right? A big pump, not too many supports here. When we do take a look at the market profile, yeah, we don't have much here. So this could be a crucial zone, right? It either sweeps the low, gets a reaction, we pump, or we break down and we just continue to the downside to 105K. So yeah, that's what we're looking at here. More for Monday. Not much more, guys. Not much more. That like button going absolutely bananas. How I like it. Please do Solana. Please take a look at Solana. We can take a look at Solana right away. XRP weekly MACD cross loading. That's why maybe. Yeah, XRP is very corrective throughout the last few months. So it is likely that it is going to move up and claim those highs. Let's take a look at Solana here for somebody in the comment section. Make sure to drop off your comments right away with your favorite altcoin. Solana does look quite bullish. I do think that Solana has a high chance that it can move to the upside. Just because we have from the bear market lows a very, very strong move to the upside impulsively. And the movement down does look quite corrective. We've swept the lows from here, liquidity grab, and the movement up that we've had also here throughout April and May does look impulsive. So Solana looks pretty good for the momentum to continue and take out those highs at 188K. Okay, it does look pretty good here on Solana, holding the value area low of this range, sweeping up the lows of the fourth wave, which is very, very common, right? A reset, a little bit of an ABC flat, a little bit too quick. Of course, this could be an ABC flat. We could be forming a three-wave structure and then another kind of a double zigzag as well. This is very shallow in timing for a pullback and then shoot up here. So the range might continue for a couple of months before heading up higher, guys. It is what it is. It's very boring, guys. Altcoins are very, very boring at the moment. What is going on with Chainlink? Chainlink, nothing going on. Chainlink is extremely bullish. Chainlink is extremely bullish. Very, very bullish. It's just very boring throughout the last few months. Bottoming out here in this zone. I do see Chainlink forming a bottom here in the next coming weeks and actually gaining some steam at some point, okay? We had the lows here, very long accumulation. I was very vocal about this zone being accumulation. This is where I accumulated most of my Chainlink, in between $6 and $9 approximately. Buying Chainlink here like a maniac. I am in profits by over 2x. Not much, but it is profits, right? When you consider a lot of people that have been buying altcoins in the last few months, I know that most are in a massive loss. But, you know, not me, as Chainlink is one of my biggest holdings. You know, it's still in the profits. But I haven't been buying Chainlink in this area, okay? We need to buy where we need to buy, guys, right? So I would consider this zone an interesting reaccumulation zone, okay? Between $10 and $15. I think it's not a bad buying zone because I would expect this area to bottom out and obviously get that rally. Altcoin season, A lot of people very skeptical about altcoin season. Altcoin season happens in cycles, okay? And you're never going to see a Bitcoin season for over a year or 18 months, okay? It's usually 2, 4, 5 months that you do see Bitcoin season, and altcoin season can be very, 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 very quick. It can be a few weeks. It can be a couple of months. Now we are in Bitcoin season. We have been trading in Bitcoin season for several months, and eventually this is only moving in cycles. There will be an altcoin season happening, but people expect 100x altcoin seasons. You might only get a 4x on an altcoin season, right? So this altcoin season that happened in November, December of 2024, it was an altcoin season, but it was very quick. And most of the cryptos did in between a 3 and a 6x, right? Considering XRP, considering many other ones, right? A lot of cryptos only did, most of the cryptos only did in between a 3x and a 5, 6x, okay? Did you take profit or not? That is the overall question. I took some profits on some altcoins. Some altcoins, I rode them all the way down, such as Cardano, such as, there's a couple of altcoins that are in slight red on my side. So it's inevitable, yeah. But this is why I want to do Bitcoin trading. We want to trade Bitcoin. We want to trade Bitcoin. We want to gain that capital throughout the months, because when you hold buying and holding, you could hold for many months, years. You can be in the red. If you trade and you know how to trade, you can gain capital as you're very rangy, right? If you buy Bitcoin and you expect to make a 2x from this zone, we need to go to 200K. If you know how to trade the levels and the ranges, you will make money, okay? And there's no better place, of course, to learn how to trade. You got the Legends trading community where you have all the modules, everything, all the education to learn how to trade and make money consistently, okay? Because buying and holding is just a bit of wishful thinking, right? Buying and holding Bitcoin for the long term, you're eventually going to make money, but you make money trading fast. You make money faster trading, but you need to know how to trade, because you can lose money very quickly as well, right? But knowing how to trade is the key, guys. Is the key to make money, right? But you need to know how to trade. By the way, about trading, you got insane bonuses, guys. For bluffing, also for weeks, okay? Weeks, $100 for the first 100 users. There's only a few dozen left, okay? Got 25% fee reduction. Bluffing, also a great exchange. The main reason why of these exchanges is because they only require an email and a password. For bluffing, you do have up to $500 in bonuses, 20% cash back, okay? All different perks. Make sure to sign up with the links down below, guys, okay? You get those bonuses when you sign up. Bluffing is the second link. Weeks is the fourth link, okay, down below. What else? So it does look like Bitcoin is heading down south to claim those lows. It's the highest probability right now looking at the structure. You got a 3-wave move up. You got a deep correction here. Highest probability is to claim that 107.2K. Depending on the reaction, we'll have to see. If we break down, then lower we go. And we just have to watch that price action develop, right? But for the moment, leaning south, claiming 107.2K is the highest probability locally, right? My short is also printing. Absolute legend. BTC getting the drop. Shorts are printing. Yes, I'm also in a short position. Short position was provided in the Legends trading community. It was provided in the Telegram signals channel. So still in that short position as well here. And I would be happy for it to drop a few $1,000s more. Let's see if we can make 10K profit on that short. Let's see if it does break down aggressively. If it comes down to 105K, I mean, that would be the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. I would be taking profit depending on the reaction from the lows of Friday, okay? Depending on the reaction, I would have to collect some profits. If we react, reclaim the level, okay, bullish CVDs, I'll have to let the people know that, I'm taking profits here, guys. And maybe look for a long, right? We need a ping pong. We need to play ping pong here with what the information is given to us here on the charts. ping pong the profits. Can you please check SPX 6900 chart, ticker SPX? Yeah, we can take a look at that. SPX, I think it's that's the stock market one, right? The stock market crypto. What can we say about this one? SPX. Big volatile move here. I mean, this one, SPX, this one performed quite well. I mean, this one did perform quite well. We had a massive rally here throughout 2024. And now basically hit all-time high, a little bit of a double top situation. I mean, this one increased massively. I don't know very much about this crypto, but I know it's like a stock market crypto. I'll have to do a bit of research, but on the charts, yeah, we don't have much information here. It literally kind of double topped. It is grinding to the upside. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say based on the analysis on this one. Yeah, currently at the valley area high here very nicely. Not much. We're not going to analyze the waves here. It's just going to take a long time. Could have developed a wave 3 here, and we're probably going to be getting another new high here on this crypto. But yeah, it does look like that this movement down is corrective. Okay, so I would expect SPX to claim these highs. The main reason why this looks corrective is if you do analyze the drop here from the highs, you got the leg down, you got the bounce, and if this had to be your wave 3, you would want to see a little bit more downside, a wave 4 shallow pullback without overlapping this pivot and a movement down. If we would have formed a 5-wave structure down, then it would be looking more bearish. But as we've had a 3-wave structure to the downside, and this bounce over here overlap this pivot, what you would be looking at is, you know, a corrective structure, 3-wave move. If it is going to be bearish, it has to be a multiple 1-2 setup. But there's a problem right now. If this is a 1-2 and this is your second 1-2, your second 1-2 is much larger in timing and price action than your first 1 and 2. That is very uncommon to see. So, you know, also this movement right over here, if it is going to be part of that second 1 and 2, it's just very long, very, very long. So it doesn't look too bearish considering a leading move down. It looks 3-wave corrective structure, another movement up. You could be forming some kind of a, you know, maybe a triangle. Well, not a triangle. You claim this low over here. But it's just a complex sideways correction till you actually move up and claim these highs at some point. Okay, just keeping it in simple matters. This movement down is corrective. So you're looking for these highs on SPX to be hit at some point in the near future, right? Just keeping it in a simple analysis here. Crypto Big Brains, absolute legend. Jerome, Paolo Zenga, SPX 900 is just a meme. Yeah, it's just a meme. Yeah, well, is it just a meme? 6900. It has to do something with like the stock market. I'm really not aware of. You know, I'm not an altcoin fundamentalist. Many thanks, Andy. Fathy, much love to you. Legends, thank you very much for joining. 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽 here is an absolute legend. Go and check him out. He is a coach in the Discord as well. He's an absolute legend. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I'm just remaining patient for some levels to be hit. Okay, either this one. If it breaks, then this one. If we move up, I'm looking for this one to see how we break up, if we react or not. I will be taking some trading decisions in the next 24 hours, maybe between today and tomorrow. Of course, the Telegram will know exactly when I enter my next trade, guys. If you're interested in that, the Andy's Analyst here, where I do provide my possible scenarios with video updates. Make sure to join the Telegram down below. It's the first link. If you want more information, if you want the education, you do have the Discord, guys, okay, to learn and take your trading to the next level. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.